Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you've had a good weekend, good evening, kia ora, bonsoir, mwiriwe, magadini, depending on where you actually waking up or located in the world. And if it happens that you are waking up, we want to say bonjour, mngaramutse, kia ora again, and good morning. This is Monday. We're broadcasting from Aotearoa, New Zealand, particularly Auckland, and we want to give you a big welcome to the African Mirror episode 2. You are with your DJ host ORIKoL, and we're going to be talking about a special topic, a special report about one of the 54, 55, 56 countries of Africa called DRC. And today, as we've been talking about how Africa has been associated with these umbrella words that classify Africa as poor, classify Africa as dirty, as dumb people, as a third world continent. We wanted to look deep a little bit into this country called DRC and what it has done to us and how it's contributing to the rest of the world. Before we get into it, though, I just wanted to bring a little bit of something that I've been meditating on for the last few days, for the last few weeks, which was, with the friends that I hang out with the family, like the chosen family that I've got here in New Zealand, Aotearoa. I've come to, it's not something new, it's a concept that has been existing for a while, that really being rich, it's not really about money, it's actually having options, that also the new currency right now is love as opposed to money. And I'm living experience of that. I'm living experience of that because for the last few weeks, it has become apparent how much money in my life has not really been a driving force, or has not been like the currency for my survival or for my life in New Zealand. For instance, I remember like a few days ago where I had went all out on my expenses for the week, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be another pie night for dinner. And then a friend of mine was like, yeah, what are you doing? Would you want to come and have nachos with me? And I'm like, hey, Chia, I will come and have nachos with you because, right now I was going to go for the pie, you know what I mean? And for me, that was more than money, It was love, Because for me, I'm starting to see how love can be a currency, And I remember also, like, I've been a person who's been really after my passion, trying to push my purpose forward. But challenges of life do happen to you even when you're not expecting them. I found myself without a car, but for every appointment that I had, every interviews that I wanted to go to, my friends will be like, yeah, you can come and drop me at work, and you can take my car if you can come and pick me up. Again, showing that not having money did not stop me to attend those meetings or those appointments because the love was surrounding me. Recently I got an opportunity to buy myself a car, as really recent as yesterday, right? And then I was like, I'm a little bit low on cash, but I've got friends, that were like, I can borrow some money without you having to pay interest, like you can pay me back slowly. And right now I'm actually so happy that I've got a car that I have to actually be a burden to my friends, but I don't have to put myself in debt, because if I'd got to the bank and get a loan, that would have probably turned out to be twice the amount that I would have to pay them back. But now I've got my friends that were like, look, I got some savings. You do not have to go to the bank. You do not have to pay those interests. You can pay me at, whatever amount you can afford on a weekly basis for however long you can, because I've got these savings that are sitting in my bank account. This is what I'm talking about. If you are out there and you are being depressed because you still hold on onto that concept that money is the currency currently, or that to be rich is to have money, I just want to challenge that thinking, and I want you to look at yourself in that mirror that I've been talking about, that currently what's coming up right now and what you should be letting your law of attraction bringing back into your life is allow the love that is surrounding you to actually drive you, to actually bring that growth into your life, into your community, into your family. And maybe later on you might find your passion and you might be able to find that strength to pursue it. I did say that I'm actually living experience of all these things that I'm saying, and that's why I'm trying to share a little bit of how I'm living it, so it's not just talk and not walk. Thank you so very much again for tuning in into the African Mirror with your DJ host ORIKoL. Like I mentioned before, we're going to be talking about this country called DRC, my rich neighbor. You can hashtag that and say free Congo. Congo is also known, the DRC apparently, like when you break it down, is the Democratic Republic of Congo. It is also known as the DROC, Congo Kinshasa, DR Congo, or simply either Congo or the Congo. And historically, it was known as Zaire. And going back a little bit, during the colonization of Congo, Burundi, and Rwanda were all colonized by Belgium. So it was at that point in the 1908, it was established as the Belgium colony, right? And under, it became the Republic of the Congo and gained the independence in the 1960. It's the second largest in all Africa after Algeria, and the 11th largest in the world, with a population which can be debated because there are different data out there of 81.5 millions. They speak mainly 3 languages, which is Lingala, Swahili, and French, obviously because they were colonized by the Belgium. But they also have over 200 slangs spoken in the country. For instance, like people from the north might not be able to actually talk to the people from the south unless they can speak Swahili, French, or Lingala. That's how this country is so big. It's so big, it's so rich, not only in culture, not only in fashion, not only in music, it's so rich in mineral. The Congolese people, that's how we call the people from the Congo, they have been neglected, Some people might say that it's because of their leaders, or maybe because of those who are power hungry, or the greedy people outside the country, who are in power, Their music, their religion, their dance, and even fashion are like the lifeline and an escape for them for whatever they've been going through from the time of the colonization to date. They've got, for instance, like rhythms that they are called dombolo, coupé décalé, rumba, or soukous. And the coupé décalé, for instance, has been shared with many French-speaking countries of Africa. When the coupé décalé from Congo is different from the coupé décalé from, let's say, Ivory Coast, but it's the same beat. These Congolese people, they dance like there is not tomorrow. When you look at the way they dance, the way they shake their hips, the way they shake, they dance one-on-one. It's very sexy. It's very, very energetic, and it's really like a sight to behold. Anyway, if you ever gonna turn into my gigs, you will see what I mean. So moving on, they are very, very, very lovely people. They believe so much in fashion. Every Congolese person, they would just want to be looking gorgeous and with colors that are popping, and they will want to just have like everything, the colors from their shoes to their shirts, they're all matching. They really believe in fashion. That could be an escape for whatever they've been suffering from, the age of colonization. They love dancing, like I mentioned mentioned, they produce the beautiful music, which has actually influenced so many other genres, so many other countries. I do remember growing up being taught that, like music, the real music originated actually from the Congo, which is something that it's not right now acknowledged, but that's what it is. That's how life goes, isn't it? So going back to what we're talking about, especially, relating to that concept when we're talking about how Africa is being branded as poor, but actually it's not. Congo is a perfect example that illustrates that concept. Africa has been, framed as a place of diseases. Yes, for those who've been doing the research, they have seen Ebola in Congo, which has killed so many people. And all that, though, when we talk about those diseases, someone might actually have to ask themselves a question: where are those diseases coming from? Is this because people in Congo are being left, stranded because of how rich the country is? And sometimes I wonder, is it because they are rich that they can't even have peace amongst themselves, that they can't even have peace for their children, that they actually exploited to a point that we've got like child labor, like people dying of these diseases because of how countries or organizations, international organizations, are coming there and exploiting them without actually looking after them. It's a question that actually we don't bring forth, we don't even sit down and think about, and yet it is what we are supposed to be, like we're supposed to be standing for. This is what we're supposed to be focusing on, rather than actually having to push this money currency on the top or as the priority of what we're supposed, like to be hungry for, like rather than actually sharing that love and realizing that if Congo was to be this rich, then how about we actually also bring the love forward so that we can look after these people that are actually providing us with everything, that we are using, which brings me to the next topic about the mining of cobalt. I'm pretty sure that wherever you are, you might have heard about this. And if you haven't heard about this, let me share a little bit about it. Congo, DRC, which is the vastest, the second largest, country of Africa, has been going through so much. Not because people over there are dumb, or not because people over there, they don't know how to love their people, or not how to lead their people, but just because there are just some people who are so hungry for that land. They just think about themselves. They don't care about anybody else. It's so unfair. Like I mentioned last week, or the previous episode, it's such an unfair relationship that Europe can exploit DRC because their children then can go to school, or they can drive in better cars. And then you've got children in Congo that are mining this cobalt that we need. And children that are not going to work, children that are drinking water contaminated, children that are exposed to this mineral. And then the next level is that there is no medical treatment to look after them. And then it's because these people are dirty. It's because these people are dumb. It makes no sense to me. So I was saying that Congo contains vast mineral wealth and natural resources. And to me, as it hurts, I feel like its richness, when you flip it, it becomes a curse. Because maybe if they were not that rich, maybe they would live in peace. And the thing, for me, my theory anyway, is the fact that when I look at how we have been, in civil wars, endless conflicts between the people, it's probably because of Congo. This cobalt thing that I wanted to talk about and share about with you, it's It's normal if you don't understand it, because really honestly, if you don't even know Africa is it's a continent, how would you know what's happening in DRC? How would you know how this cobalt that we are using, everything that has to do with batteries, it's got a certain amount of cobalt in it. It's an essential mineral to manufacture the phones that we are using, the computers that we are using, the electric cars that are now coming up. And more the demand is high, most of those children are dying, like on a daily basis. Comes rain, comes sun, they're there on a daily basis mining so that we can have, updated laptops, updated TVs, updated, phones. What number are we on a Samsung right now? It's unbelievable. And I don't even think that's recyclable anyway. So which means every phone they put out there is gonna get those people to put their health second, before they can, because they need to eat, they need to feed their family. These are children that are growing up without probably having parents. They are growing up with their grandmothers that can't walk anymore, and they have to go out there to bring the bacon home. When I was watching some of the TV channels, as the Sky News or CBSN, they were reporting about how young children as young as 4 years old. 4 years old. Please, can you take a moment and just appreciate this? 4 years old. What's the future for that child? And yet we all know that children are the future of the nation. 4 years old, you are put into a mine. That's all you're going to know for the rest of your life. First of all, at 4 years old, all your organs that are actually kind of like trying to develop and be better, they are already being contaminated with this chemical or this mineral. And we are out here, with our children, and we're like, oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna buy you a new iPad. I'm gonna buy you a new Samsung, a new iPhone, and No, let's go for the new. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Easter? It's new things and new things. Can we look at that concept that I was talking about? Money currency versus love currency. I'm not saying people should not have cars. I've got a car. That's how I started the show telling you. I got a laptop. I got a phone. But can we think further than, rather than having to be like, I'm just gonna buy a new laptop, because I just feel like I just want to upgrade. And what's different, I just want to buy a new phone, right? I have the latest, but they just put out a new one. Let me just upgrade for just no reason. That is costing life of some people over there. Can we think about it before we make that move? Can we put love above the money? Blessed are you if you've got your whole studio with new gear. But can you stop for a moment and see what's actually important? Because when you look at the difference anyway, like when you look at these new phones that they're putting out, the difference is not really much. Sometimes it's just a camera. A camera. We are not professional cameras. Why do we need to be changing phones all the time? Why can't we use things that have been used? The phones are just meant to be on social media and communicate. For communication, it's not, you have the best camera that just came out. Can we think a little bit? Can we take a moment and think about these children that are dying on a daily basis, or these people that are in these mines day in and day out? Come sun, come rain, come rain, and they don't have the medical equipment to actually look after them. They are not even equipped with the appropriate gear to be mining. When I was watching these videos, it's just like they are using these tiny hands, to wash it, to pick it. They dig these tunnels where they have to go inside. There's absolutely nothing safe about it. Even the reporter, when he was going there, it was horrifying to see. But these people do it on a daily basis, day in and day out. Here, you might be sitting here disagreeing with me, thinking that, well, they have to survive. Do they, though, have to survive like that? Aren't we all surviving like that? At the end of the day, the statistic out there says that 2/3 of the entire world needing cobalt comes from this one country. 2/3. Think about it. So imagine how are those people have a chance to ever say, my child, I'm going to send you to school just like any other family out in the West. Huh? My child, I don't want you to wake up in the morning and go and ruin your health because you have the same opportunities as the other children out in America. This hurts me. This saddens me. And I thought, even though it is deep, I thought that we should share this to be able to understand how the inequality and the and the unfair relationship between the rest of the world to DRC is not even being really spoken about. There have been so many protests in Europe about Free Congo because this has been going on for a long time. These children have their country, they've been brutalized, violated since colonization. They are still what we will call child abuse, but child slavery to today, because they spend more than 12 hours in those mines and get up to maximum £8 a day, which would be $16. Is it $16 in New Zealand? Probably about that. 12 hours doing that hard labor in the rain, carrying all these sacks that are so heavy for them. They come back home, they back already. Well, you can imagine how that's going to be doing, like, in and out, to collect this mineral, carrying it on their little back, not being able to go to school. When I was watching, that was so sad. When I was watching this video and they were actually talking to this child, they asked the child what he wanted in life. It was like to go to school. To go to school. It's his dream. But he's spending his whole day going into these mines, getting maximum of like $16 New Zealand. That's probably under the average wages here. For the whole day, for 12 hours, and come back home. And that's the money that he's going to share with his whole family. I don't know if we can call that a reason for Congo to be looked at as poor or as dumb. Because at the end of the day, if you want them to wear shoes, then how are they going to wear shoes? Where are they going to get the money to wear shoes? How? They can't even survive on $16 a day. Anyway, if I am being too much right now for you, I thought today we should just talk about it because it makes no sense for us to keep on enjoying life without actually, opening each other's eyes and bringing awareness of what is happening on the other side of the world. And a few years ago, I think the human rights organization did take some big organizations like Google, like Apple, like Dell, Microsoft, and Tesla into court because they wanted to see if they can change and reform the way the mining of cobalt is being done in Congo. And 2 years later, to date, nothing has been done. And they've issued some statements where they deny it, or they haven't responded to it. So at the end of the day, this thing is still going in Africa, and I wanted to share that with you, so your eyes can be open as well. So maybe this might be something that might make you wake up in the morning and reconsider how you spend your money on these gadgets unnecessary. Because if you can remember, there are some people over there who are not eating enough, who are not having, sufficient medical treatments, who don't even have the right gears, to know that these people are doing all these things without having like their masks on or their gloves, when even the World Health Organization did actually issue a statement talking about how, exposure to cobalt actually would have in the long run some health issues. And I saw people, with people who've been drinking water contaminated with it, how their throats were actually like way big out, standing out like that. And I'm just wondering, what are we doing as the world that we're living in? What are we doing? Is there anything that we can do? Maybe let's get out this concept of actually being led by money, and then go back and bring forth this love. If I can love myself and I can love my friend, if I can love my family, how about you extend that love? Because we've been talking about how it doesn't really matter. The skin of your color doesn't actually really matter. What's important is we need to actually save the planet altogether, because this mining of cobalt in DRC is not just harming the people, it's also harming the environment. Because more we dig, more we are getting rid of the trees and everything, and just keep on digging holes and holes and holes. So I thought maybe sharing this with you today might actually bring a little bit of an understanding of what these countries of Africa are going through. And this is a perfect example of how I was speaking, that certain colonizer will come to Africa and cause some political and cultural distractions so that things like that can go on. This is again a perfect example when we were talking about the Pact of Independence from the colonizer to the countries that they colonized in Africa, and how they have never left, because there were all these conditions where Africa cannot actually say enough is enough. So we are here to demand, your conscious awareness that enough is enough. Little steps you can do to help, yourself, because if you can stop just expanding your gadgets like there's no tomorrow, please take a moment, reflect yourself in that mirror through the African eye, and understand that your actions actually have impact, whether you know it or not, which is what me and my crew are here to do, to share all this understanding and this awareness for you to know. Whether you know it or not, your actions are actually hurting some other people. It's horrifying that to know every laptop you buy, if you don't need it, you might be killing a child. Just ponder on the fact that a 4-year-old child is mining for us to be in this luxury, for us to just throw phones because, we want a new one. I really wanted us to take a moment and look at this. This country is called DRC. It was once called Zaire. It has gone through so many, civil wars. It has gone so many conflicts between the people themselves. People, like even the African countries, will get in there because it's so huge and so rich. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe it is also its curse. But please take a moment. Reflect on this. Give us your feedback if you so want to. Let us know if you need more information, because we want to be helping each other to understand, so we can at least save a child at a time. I'm not even asking you for your donation for them, for DRC. I'm not asking you to give anything. I'm only asking for your conscious awareness of your actions, because what you do matter. To you, to me, especially for the people in DRC. So thank you so very much for lending us your ears, and I hope that we manage to bring in 1 or 2 cents to your understanding of Africa, which is the whole purpose of this show, to be able to share some educational knowledge to empower your consuming rights and your consuming decisions, because as you would have heard from this show, whatever you buy in terms of like these electronic gadgets, they might have an impact on a child or a family back in Africa. And the show always will be coming back to Africa and its connotation and how it's viewed and how is promoted or advertised to the rest of the world, because obviously some people have high interests in certain countries of Africa, if not the whole continent. Again, Africa, it's a continent made up with more than 50 countries. It's not a country. If you want to know more about it, we will have more information on African Mirror or social media and on the show notes. You'll be able to actually get all the information that we have spoken about, for you to just not believe our word for it, but also to see people who have spent energy and time, passion and love into investigating what is happening in certain countries that we, being here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, actually might not even have an idea of what's going on. So please keep it locked. We will be back with you next week. And we hope that if you've got feedback or comments, let us know. Like I have mentioned in the previous show, we are not here to promote hate, but we just want to share some knowledge for you to know, even one step at a time, how you can help your fellow human being or even protect the environment, because it's not all about the sea. There's also other things, there's other atrocities that are happening in the African continent that you might not have an opportunity to actually, or access to the information for you to be able to know what to do. Tonight we're talking about DRC as my rich neighbor, which is actually quite almost like a controversy, because DRC has always been seen as a poor country. People over there walk barefoot, people over there don't know how to look after their own resources. And as we have learned tonight, it is a country that is supplying 2/3 of the cobalt that is actually allowing you to use your computer, your phones, your electric car, or everything that has to do with the battery. So make sure next time you buy something, make sure next time you want to think about a gift for your child or your friend, think about, do they actually need a new iPhone? Do they need a new Samsung? Do they need a new laptop? Or is it better actually to refurbish it or to actually just use it, because it's all meant for communication? We will be back with you. This is African Mirror. You have been with DJ ORIKoL. You want to follow us, on this social media. And if you are interested in knowing more about what we've been talking about, we're going to give you some notes. Just keep it locked, and we'll see you next time.